Network Entertainment.
Who's ready for story time?
What's going on? This is Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed.
Let me talk to you.
Hello, WWE Universe in the Philippines. This is Charlotte.
Hey everyone, this is Jeff Cobb.
I have to finish the story.
We are pretty deadly. Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
Run!
Bang! The sniper is shooting you down. This is TMDK's Robbie Eagles.
Hey, this is the Cosmic Cactus, Paul London.
Hello, my name is Ilya Dragunov, the Czar, the NXT champion, and you're listening to...
And you're listening to...
And you're listening. And you are listening.
And you're listening
To the Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
to the Wrestling Podcast. Yeah.
Welcome to the Wrestling Podcast post-show with Stan, Ro, Chino, and Emil talking about all of the stuff now we couldn't fit into our regular Thursday live stream. So we're going to start with the AEW Continental Classic. So this is the tournament that Tony Khan and Bryan Danielson announced weeks ago on Collision. Alam na natin what's up for grabs as the tournament began earlier Manila time. So first, what's up for grabs is the right to be a Triple Crown champion because Eddie Kingston has wagered his ROH World Championship and the NJPW Strong Openweight Championship. And then there's the Continental Championship. So literal tatlong championships. They didn't say kung i-unify or hindi kasi right now the word that they're using is Triple Crown. And then all three belts are on display sa Dynamite kanina. So that's what's up for grabs.
It is a unification. The reason why it's Triple Crown kasi they're putting it into one. So it's going to be like how Roman Reigns used to carry two belts, diba? So mas madali siya na ganun. So that I think they're also kind of, I don't know how they managed to have NJPW give up the Strong Championship, but I guess it's technically, well, I don't know. I guess one less title.
How do you feel about the ROH World Championship essentially being retired here? Kasi parang if you face out siya for what's essentially another mid-card title.
I don't know. Okay lang. Yeah. I mean, they were using it as a mid-card championship anyway.
They were using it as a mid-card championship on AEW.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, granted, ROH isn't in the same level anymore as AEW, pero I would have still appreciated ROH having its own title, but at least they still have their own identity. Parang sinabi mong, i-unify natin yung NXT tsaka Intercontinental Championships. Diba? Parang ganun yung nangyari. So, kawawa naman yung NXT, diba? At the end of the day.
They weren't really gonna they weren't gonna do the thing. They weren't gonna actually make ROH NXT. They really were just using the name for a new dark show. So kung ganun na rin lang, fine, I don't care. I mean, Kingston was using it anyway.
Yeah, plus the reason, I think one of the reasons why the NJPW Strong title was included there is I think NJPW is slowly phasing out Strong as a US branding or US show kasi if meron ng AEW for their American talents or excursions, or if they want to feature talents US, they can use AEW now. So probably that's one of the reasons why they are including the Strong title into the Triple Crown mix.
So essentially, what they're competing for here is to be the champion for AEW Dark. That's what happens here.
No,
so
it's not. I mean, in a way it is, pero you are now a champion then with 3 belts, and that's not something to scoff at, diba? So technically you are the top champion on Dark, but also you are a champion in the mid card to AEW, and then you are also somehow a champion in NJPW America. So that's the whole prestige thing happening.
But remind me if maybe I'm just maybe I'm just wrong here, pero didn't they say that the winner will get a title shot for the heavyweight championship? Kung sino man na dito, or like this is
I'm
just...
not sure they mentioned that kasi ang naalala ko lang talaga yung triple
the cup lang. Okay.
Naalala ko nung umpisa was that it was really just a tournament.
Okay, got it. All right.
So
Okay.
now they've put stakes. So itong Continental Classic is basically like the G1. It's single round robin format dun sa respective brackets, or what they call the leagues, the Blue League and the Gold League. And at the end, 'di ba, magtatapat yung top ng Blue League versus yung top ng Gold League. I think may semi-final bracket pa yun, like a Final Four or something. Let me run through yung participants here dito sa parang Savior School / NU themed Continental Classic. So with the Gold League, which was featured on Dynamite, you have John Moxley, Swerve Strickland, Roosh, Jay Lethal, Jay White, and Mark Briscoe. Sa Blue League naman, we will see their matches on Collision over the weekend. You've got Bryan Danielson, Andrade El Idolo, Eddie Kingston, Brody King, Claudio Castagnoli, and Daniel Garcia. So what do you think of both leagues? And is there anyone from the roster na you feel was such a miss na hindi sila na-include dito sa Continental Classic?
I thought the roster was fine kasi a lot of people are saying that they all want the top guys in the tournament. But the truth is, in a tournament like this where someone has to win and someone has to take a lot of losses, you do have to put people there na can take a loss and they're still going to deliver a great match. For the gold block, I think that guy's going to be Jay Lethal. For the other block, I think maybe that's going to be Brody King or Daniel Garcia. So you do need those guys. That's why I like them being included here. Say that they need someone to put the other guys over. So I like the roster, but I wish Hangman could have been in this tournament because he needs to get back to a title feud or the title scene because it's been a while. So I would have wished for Hangman to be in this tournament, and maybe also Kenny Omega, but I don't know what he's doing at this point. He's busy with.
We will talk about what Kenny Omega.
Yeah, with the Young Bucks. So, but the one name that I thought was the biggest omission here is Hangman Page.
I actually thought that the reason they got Will Ospreay was to fit Will Ospreay in something like this. I'll be honest. He has the experience of the G1 behind him, so probably it might have been a stretch. What is he doing now though? Diba? Parang wala pa eh, diba? He just got signed.
He's finishing up his NJPW dates.
Yeah, diba?
As far as I know. Yeah.
So, yeah, diba? So parang pwede din siyang ipasok dito eh. I honestly thought that he would end up here for some reason. For my pick, though, I'm actually going to go the opposite of Emil. I'm going to go with Daniel Garcia. And here's why. I think Daniel Garcia has lost a lot of steam. But in this tournament where he can get a lot of matches in, he also has the opportunity to build a lot of steam. Right? And if they're really serious about their young talent, they're really serious about putting a young guy over, I think Daniel Garcia gets that big
Wait,
win.
so winner pick mo na to?
Winner pick ko na to si Daniel Garcia.
Okay, guy.
All right. Okay.
Isn't that what you asked? Diba you asked?
No, that's not what I asked.
Mamaya pa pala, okay, I jumped ahead. Sorry, I jumped ahead. I said Will Ospreay.
Biggest omission, yeah.
I'm gonna disagree with Emil here. Yes, tama ka in that, booking wise, pencil wise, you do need people who can eat losses. But that's not how a tournament works in sports, diba? I mean, if you're choosing the best of the best, why would I put in guys na alam kong matatalo?
Oo nga, tama nga naman.
So, instead of Brody King, I would have put Malachi at least. Why Buddy? What did he do?
Buddy Murphy.
Why?
He could have been.
Anyway,
instead of Brody.
Instead of Jay Lethal, I would have put someone like Miro. Instead of Daniel Garcia, I would have put someone like sino ba ba? Well, Roosh is there, so
so Ricky Starks.
Yeah, Ricky Starks. Yeah.
Starks, yeah.
Like, I don't technically. I shouldn't need mid carders to round out my unless they happen to beat someone to get into the bracket in a wild card match, diba? Like in the NFL. So, syempre, it's okay. It's great in a wrestling fan perspective, pero when you think about it, medyo. I do wish this was stacked to the gills, but it's okay.
I would have put Adam Copeland in.
Adam Copeland.
Yeah, Adam Copeland. Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, kasi the difference din kasi is this is just the Continental Classic is just a part of the entire a part of the story. Kasi with G1 kasi that's the entire thing na ginagawa nila when G1 is happening. Like everyone is involved. with ito, this is just, something for,
No.
kasi may mga ongoing feuds and then the other guys are doing this tournament.
Kung ganun din lang, sana ginawa niya ng paraan to explain why people are in. I mean, he did, yes. He did a reveal with Tony Schiavone, but they didn't really explain, to the best of my knowledge, they didn't explain why each person was picked. They just announced who was picked. So, again, it's one of those things that would be nice if they explained. It's like that World Title Eliminator tournament that happened earlier this year. Na puro mid-carders yung pinasok. So it's one of those things that, yeah, you get it because you know he was going to put on good matches, but you still do need to do the legwork to make this make sense. So yun yung mga misses ko.
All right. So sige, let's do predictions here. Who's your finals pick coming out of the Blue League and the Gold League? And who is your winner pick to take it all? So si Chino, sinabi niya na kanina that his winner pick is Daniel Garcia. So I'll go back to you, Chino. Sino yung finals pick mo sa Gold League? Because I think Garcia is in the Blue League.
No, Gold League. Okay, now I'm looking at the lineup here. So Gold League, I'm gonna have to put Moxley in just because he's like the safest bet here. He's the strongest hand here. So I would put Moxley and Strickland as my finalist for this too. Kasi malakas pa din yung hatak ni Swerve ngayon. So that's my finalist for the Gold League. For the Blue League, I'm still sticking with Daniel Garcia. I would like to see him be put through the ringer. And I think the perfect guy to do that against is his old buddy, Brian Danielson. So yun yung picks ko din for the other league.
Okay, so for me, Final Four, say they will have a semifinals naman for this. So for the Blue League, I'll have to go with, of course, Brian Danielson kasi they're doing this tournament for him. Or like, kasi he's gonna retire and then, this is a chance for him to do a G1 style without him leaving AEW. So Brian, and then I'll go with Kingston for the Blue League. That's the semis. For the gold, go with Moxley and Swerve, and then my finals is Danielson versus Swerve. And with my pick is Swerve Strickland.
He just copied my whole Final Four. Yun yung akin eh. No, I'm gonna say Eddie Kingston because Eddie Kingston is giving up 2 of his championships for this.
Yeah.
Brian, same reasons. Swerve because he did put on, death match of the year at the very least. And maybe, who else? But, well, sige. No. Tama. Because Swerve is the heel, so you have to go with the face. John Moxley. Sorry, Jay White, not your year. And then same nga, Brian versus Swerve. And then they could easily give it to Brian kasi yun nga, again, it's all for him. But after Full Gear, you do have to adjust your plans if they weren't your plans yet for Swerve winning.
All right, so there. Those are yung picks and predictions for the Continental Classic. Oh, Emil, may
one final point. Kasi they have this rule now, no managers, no outside interference.
Wow.
It's kind of sad that we won't get to see Prince Nana do his dance for weeks.
Hindi na siya through 2 tables eh. Let the man rest.
No, it's good that they did that.
Yeah.
It's good that they did that kasi, again, I don't know if you were copying WWE kasi Adam Pearce was, we put over Adam Pearce bigly, pero good stuff. We really do needed to see more of that. So I think kahit papano, Tony Khan was paying attention to some of the criticism. So good on him.
Right.
Right, more Dynamite talk. See, Christian Cage, may official ng name yung kanyang faction. It is the Patriarchy, which commentary has been referencing over the last few weeks. And then this week, he decided to bestow a nickname upon Nick Wayne. So he's now the Prodigy Nick Wayne. I actually thought he would be renamed Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Kasi nga, di ba? Parang anak yung turing niya kay Nick Wayne.
Thought that was really
It was right there.
Nicolas Cage.
I really thought they were gonna name him Nick Cage.
And it would have been fitting because Christian Cage, I don't know if you know this, Emil, but Christian Cage's ring name is a combination of Christian Slater and Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
So, di ba? It was right there.
It was right there. Yeah.
Anyway, the bigger story here is Luchasaurus has been renamed to Killswitch. So yun yung kaparusahan niya for being the disappointment. He was renamed into Christian Cage's finisher. So that's 1 point here. And then Nick Wayne and his mom, I think Shay na yung pangalan niya. Na-observe ko lang na parang collateral damage siya dito sa Edge and Christian feud na nangyayari on AEW. Which is kind of sad, but also kind of weird, I guess. It's kind of like yung sinasabi na when the rich wage war, it's the poor who die. In this case, the poor are Nick Wayne and his mom.
A former waitress and her son.
May iba ako naisip for Shayna Wayne. I feel like she is on track to become this generation's Vicky Guerrero.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about the same thing.
Yeah, binigyan siya ng trabaho. Well, you know, technically she does have a job now because she is an on-screen character for AEW. So good on her, kasi you know, I think at this point it might have been far more success than her husband has had so far, because you know, she's now a TV character on a mainstream wrestling TV show. So good on her. Game the game siya, you know, she's all in, you know, she knows what to do, she understands the assignment.
Nag-bump pa nga eh.
Yeah.
Pero medyo weird na nung nakahilata siya sa ring, about to take the concerto, di siya gumagalaw, di ba? Tapos pumasok si Adam Copeland, puta, gumapang siya bigla palabas. Parang, ba't bigla nga nagkabuhay?
Nagising siya nung kanta ni Edge. Ni Adam Copeland.
Sa ilalim, uy, may steel chair sa ilalim ng ulo ko. Gumapang palabas.
I mean, she had to move or else she would get run over. So, you know, from a logistics standpoint, I guess it makes sense.
What do you think about this? Na yun nga, basically, Nick Wayne and his mom are collateral damage here.
I mean, yes, tama si I'm gonna side with Ro here and say na may trabaho na sila ngayon and they're characters on TV. So it's not just any job, di ba? Conversely, pag hindi sila kasama sa storyline na to as proverbial girls in fridges,
yes.
di ba?
Yes.
Kung hindi sila kasama sa storyline, what would they be doing right now? Would they still even be part of AEW? Diba? Parang yun lang din eh. Yes, hindi maganda yung role, but at least they have a role.
Yeah, I agree. If wala sila sa storyline na to, Nick Wayne would probably be spending time in the dark shows, in the Ring of Honor shows, because he's just, 18? But I'm glad that they found a suitable role for him as the young guy who got manipulated by Christian, which is...
Nag-groom siya ni Christian.
Nag-groom siya ni Christian Cage. Which is
we're making fun of grooming.
No, grooming is bad, people. Yeah, so I actually like it kasi believable kasi Nick Wayne is they told the story of Nick Wayne being such being such in a young age, and then yung involvement niya with all the people in the story, with yung kay Darby, yung kay now with Christian. So I like it. I do like it.
Eto, question for you guys. Who said the more reprehensible thing this week? Was it Santos Escobar who said, Ray, I hope that your knee gets infected and that they have to amputate it? Or Christian who said, buti na lang Nick Wayne, patay na yung tatay mo because you would have disowned him anyway?
Obviously the Christian one.
Yeah, the Christian.
Yeah, still Christian.
I just wanted to race real quick. Yung hinintay ko sa segment na yun is because Luchasaurus got a new name. I thought they were gonna unmask it.
Kala ko rin.
Yeah.
Kasi, is he still a dinosaur at this point? If he's named after a thing, a kill switch.
What is a kill switch?
It's literally it's a switch
is it
that powers
literally a
something
switch?
off. No,
Okay.
it's a switch that
So it's
powers
just an
things
on and
off.
off switch.
Parang
Yeah,
yung
it's
sa
an on-
breaker mo.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Kaya yung merch ni Christian dati was flip the switch.
All right, okay. Kaya
Yeah.
ko say they named it after the band or whatever.
I think he did.
Isn't that what Christian called it Killswitch?
Yeah, I think
Because he wanted to call
took the
it
name.
after the band. Yeah.
He took the name from the band.
Yeah.
But the name, the band name has a thing.
Okay,
is
so
a thing.
it's an
talaga.
actual thing. Okay.
Yeah. So if they don't unmask Luchasaurus, I thought the whole point was to strip everything that about Luchasaurus that got him over with the fans. So if they were going to do that, then what are we doing here? Diba? Parang I wouldn't want to see Luchasaurus ano ka, diba? Why do you still have a dinosaur mask on if you're not a dinosaur? Diba?
I agree.
So,
I actually also want to see Luchasaurus not be Luchasaurus anymore. I think that experiment has ran its course.
Yeah. Wala na si Jungle Boy.
Wala na si Jungle Boy, diba? So, wala na point na maging dinosaur siya before he still had a point kasi galing siya Lucha Underground. But Lucha Underground has been long over. There's no reason for him to cosplay as a dinosaur anymore.
Right.
They don't even have his name anymore. I think the end game here, because Christian alluded to it, he threatened to unmask Luchasaurus. So I think the end game here is actually unmasking Luchasaurus.
Yeah, saka the name itself, Luchasaurus, that was derived from parang a comedy gimmick. Now he's a dinosaur who wrestles. That's why his name is Luchasaurus. So I was waiting for the time that they finally repackage him to something else, and I thought they finally found a reason here. And maybe so the name change was one step in the right direction, but soon I think they need to at least modify the mask if he's gonna still be a mask wrestler.
Tanggalin mo na yung mask.
Hindi naman siya pangit eh.
Oo nga.
Yeah, he's actually
he just looks like Seth Rollins. That's it.
Sabi nga ni Stone Cold kay Kane when he was unmasked, it's not a beauty contest. So kahit pangit ka, wala kang right mag-mask. Diba? It's wrestling history, son.
Hindi nga pangit si Luchasaurus. The guy was a housemate in Big Brother in the US.
Yeah, wait, what?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
And he was on NXT, diba?
Yeah, he was on NXT.
Yeah, he was.
For a hot minute, he was on NXT.
Yep.
Yeah, his name was Judas Devlin. So yun. More AEW stuff lost in all of the conversations coming out of Full Gear. The women's division got a bit of an overhaul because now there are 2 new women's champions. So the women's world champion is now Timeless Toni Storm, third reign niya, and then Julia Hart defeated Chris Statlander and is now the TBS champion. I want to start with Timeless Toni Storm here because I find it ironic having followed Toni Storm's career over the last few years na kung kailan wala na siya sa WWE, dito pa siya naging character in AEW, which is admittedly the show na it's more ma-work rate instead of like really focusing on characters diba, over its short history. So what do you guys think of how Toni Storm has really struck gold with the Timeless Toni Storm?
I love it. I love the whole classic era movie star thing she has going on. Yung mga references niya. Did you guys hear the press release Tony Khan had to read?
Yeah.
When Toni Storm didn't show up for the scrum, she was name dropping classic Rat Pack era stars in that promo. Nakakatawa, ang galing. It's sobrang dedicated niya to this role that she's just playing up, and as a movie fan, I like it. I think it's refreshing, and I think it fits well in AEW because it's such a sports to hard-hitting to type of show instead of a story type of show. So there's a breath of fresh air na pumapasok with Timeless Toni Storm. I want to see her do a whole faction with RJ City, who's always been a Toni Storm mark. Diba? Parang siya yung Alipores niya. And Mariah May, who was also turning out to be Toni Storm's side character here. Kasi diba yung whole thing niya was she wanted to be Toni Storm. So sana they form a solid trio here of people, of an
Are we
entourage.
erasing Luther?
Luther.
Parang an entourage for alongside Luther for Toni Storm, who is a celebrity. Diba? Yun naman yung role niya. So it makes sense for her to have an entourage.
Yeah, and I know she already won the women's championship, but I could have wished she won the TBS title. They renamed it as a Turner Classic Movies Championship. Yeah, I wish kasi challenge naman ng Turner yun. So yeah, but yeah, nonetheless, yeah, this she really struck gold this character, and who would have guessed na a gimmick like this would still mabenta pa din siya in the year 2023. So it's kind of genius in a way, and I'm glad that they ran the ball with this.
I tweeted something a while back. I said ironically, AEW has the best characters in wrestling right now in Toni Storm and MJF. So a lot of WWE fans will probably not understand because they don't choose to watch AEW, diba? So it's funny because the quote unquote work rate company did have the best characters, and nagkataon lang na mas matino yung writing ng WWE right now. The week to week narratives, but the characters really are with AEW. I also find it funny that Tony Storm didn't do anything with the Outcast. Like she didn't bring them with her with this new gimmick.
Dispatcha niya lang sila bigla.
Yeah, okay. Parang,
Yeah.
I thought that they would have done something. Kasi, yes, you can see na she was slowly spiraling into the character, diba? Pero I thought that I thought it was funny na wala talaga, wala. The Outcast just remained doing their thing, and it was a big flop, as we all know now. It's a flop now. Tony Storm is flying high. Tapos the Outcasts are now stuck in a creepy stalker angle with Cool Hand Edge, diba? So it's funny because the other two were supposed to be your bigger stars from WWE, Saraya and Ruby Soho, diba? Tapos Tony Storm found a way, and I don't know if it's because the other two didn't really want to be in that universe as well as the gimmick with Tony or what. Pero sayang I think they could have served them well.
But black and white.
Yeah, and now they're holding the bag now. They are not as memorable as Tony.
Yeah, can you imagine that just 2 years ago, Tony Storm was basically dead set on leaving wrestling altogether. But right after she left WWE, she was like, I'm done with wrestling. And then 2 years later, biglang boom, it's basically one of the best characters in the industry today. It's amazing how much can change then in just 2 years.
Di ba her last appearance in WWE yung ano siya ng pie sa face?
No, it was the Survivor Series match.
Yeah, but still, going from that to
or maybe the pie thing, but the pie thing wasn't the exact last one. Like there was another week.
Yeah, that's people. Yung kasi ina-associate ng people when talking about her in WWE and her now. So going from that to this, sobrang ganda ng development for Tony Storm.
If I were Triple H, I'd be so pissed at how many people Vince has driven away with his writing, diba? Kasi I'm sure Triple H is happy for Tony, of course, but he also regrets na that experiment for him didn't pan out.
And dami, diba? I would say like 25 to 50% of AEW's roster was at NXT at some point.
Oh yeah.
Looking through that roster up and down. Julia Hart, TBS champion na ngayon. Chris Statlander's reign obviously was not as long as Jade Cargill's, and then tong si Julia Hart at 21 or 22 is the youngest TBS
22.
champion.
22.
Newly married
AEW
Julia
champion
Hart,
ever.
by the way. Newly married
Yeah.
Julia Hart. So
Yeah,
congrats.
deserve naman niya. Deserve. She did actually get better. When I first saw her Varsity Blonde, she was kind of awkward then. Obviously she was still pretty fresh, still pretty raw. So I obviously having 3 of the low-key better wrestlers as your mentors, diba, is gonna up your game, which is why it's weird why Brie Bella still isn't on that level. So I appreciate what she's done. I appreciate how she's improved. The character also did take off. One can even argue that it's doing better than the Malachi Black and the other House of Black members right now. So deserve naman. I think that particular scene, the young guns of the women's division, they're getting the time and the attention that they need. Siyempre kulang pa rin kasi, Tony Khan feels a certain way about pushing women, but it's a lot better than it was, I would say. Maybe like even a half a year back.
Yeah, again, Julia Hart, what a year for Julia Hart. She is in the running for the most improved wrestler of the year. Say the difference from the start of the year to now so massive. Grabe yung improvement niya. Also in ring kasi nakikita naman yun like in her performances lately, she's upping her game, and at least now even though we still have problems with how the women's division is being booked, there's now a solid main event slot in the women's division, and then yung mid card niya is I think at this point, we can say that there's already an established mid card sa women's division with people like Julia Hart, Sky Blue, Willow. So you can say na at this point, paunti-unti nang nanirectify ni TK. Even though still got long ways to go, unti-unti nang nanirectify ni TK yung women's division.
Yeah, I like her character. I like what they did with her character. I think she was the most successful out of the House of Black kasi nakita natin yung delve into madness niya, kung paano siya nag-heel turn, kung paano siya naging evil, quote unquote. So I like what they're doing with her. I like how they gave her the Alexa Bliss treatment, which is exactly what Alexa Bliss went through before she took a break from wrestling. So kudos to her. I think I see her going far with this new gimmick she has going.
Yeah. I just wish na, as Ro alluded to earlier, there were more than just the token women's match on your typical AEW show. Last couple of things here dito sa ating post-show. Let's talk about the Young Bucks who have tapped into their inner Bratinella after they lost to the Golden Jets. So yung kanilang guaranteed title shot against Ricky Starks and Big Bill, or whoever the tag team champions would have been, is now gone, and Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho can continue to be a tag team here.
I am interested on how are they gonna pull this off, because we have seen heel Bucks like so many times before, and usually it's the same thing. Like they're acting very degenerate. They're against
Entitled.
they're entitled. But how are they gonna be different here? That's something that I'm interested to see.
Kailangan nilang managat.
Sa paan sila backstage. It'd be funny if they did that too. Like knowing the creative control the Bucks have, feeling ko dadating sila sa point na, what if magsapahan tayo backstage?
I don't think they have as much creative control as people think they do. But I enjoy this. I think alam naman ng Young Bucks na even though there are loyal Young Bucks fans, a lot more of the wrestling fan base likes to hate on them because they don't really fully understand how the Young Bucks wrestle. So they lean into that and it works, diba? You get the heat, and people would much rather cheer Kenny and Jericho, diba? So okay na rin. They are good at being hateable. It is something that gets over well. And they made it make sense. Some people are saying it doesn't make sense, but it does. Sometimes human nature just doesn't make sense to the rational mind.
Yeah. With the Young Bucks here, basically being heels again and then really hating on yung friendship ni Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, I guess parang aligned rin to sa nangyari this week na being the elite is basically canceled. In-announce ni Brandon Cutler. So this has been a long-running web show that the Young Bucks have been doing even pre-AEW, diba? So it's a big thing here, especially for the long-time fans. But I don't know. I've actually felt now being the elite at some point jumped the shark, and it was only a matter of time until this would happen. And I guess they picked itong point na to when their characters were more heel-leaning to just kill the show off altogether.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't think of it that way. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I think dumating na din sila sa point na sobrang dami na nilang ginagawa that they don't have time to fuck around anymore. Like that's the whole thing about being the elite. They shot it on the side. Kinukulit nila yung mga wrestlers. They were asking them to do crazy shit on camera. Tapos it's just something that they could do. But I don't know if nag-increase yung responsibility ng Bucks backstage or what. But I feel like it's gotten to the point that they needed to prioritize where they were going as a team. So were they going to be the guys who were just internet darlings who did this little show and like a handful of fans or were they going to focus on running this company and being the wrestlers that needed to be in certain positions? So parang
that's
that's
why I sometimes also ask or always wonder how long are the Bucks still gonna wrestle? Because they do have they do have other responsibilities now, and they have wrestled long enough now. They're already established as one of the best tag teams of all time, and they have been a tag team their entire careers. They never really except for that one point in TNA. But they never really separated and had single runs. So at some point, you think the course will run out as them as being wrestlers or them being a tag team. Diba?
So you're basically calling for main event Nick Jackson.
Di naman. Like, you know.
Hanapin nila yung pangatlong Jackson brother.
I actually don't mind it. Okay lang the Young Bucks keep wrestling. I just actually like what they're doing now. They're putting themselves in deeper stories. Like they're exploring their own personalities about I don't think I've ever seen them be upset with, who Kenny chooses to be friends with. But you can correct me if I'm wrong. So I think there's still a lot more depth to plumb here for their characters. So I think this is them finding their late career renaissance.
All right, last bit here, we're gonna talk about NWA Power real quick kasi yung bali-balita from a few weeks ago was that they lost their supposed TV deal with the CW, which is, I believe, a cable channel under the CBS network, one of the bigger free TV networks sa US. So nangyari yon kasi merong isang spot where there was drug use. And the network did not like that. So ang bali-balita is that they took back the deal and then lumabas yung press release that NXT will now be on the CW. So that led to more people saying, now, all right, NWA dropped the ball on their own TV deal. And then we found out this week that NWA Power is actually going to be on the CW after all, but it's going to be on their streaming service. I believe it's called CW Seed.
Yeah. I don't know why it's called that, but it is. Interesting. So it does actually line up with the fact now, okay, drug use can't be that bad, right? I mean, like we see it on TV all the time. So
Hindi naman conservative. Hindi naman conservative channel ang CW.
Yeah.
No, they're trying to be conservative.
They have Riverdale. Or they had Riverdale. Diba? They had Gossip Girl. Diba? They had all these angsty teen shows. So I don't know why.
Yeah. CW is not conservative. Medyo progressive yung mga shows na ume-air.
Yeah, they have all these
progressive. Yeah.
They have all these angsty edgy shows. Diba? So I don't know why they suddenly got triggered by drug use.
Siguro what really happened there is that they saw the opportunity to land NXT and then they got NXT. Yeah. But they were still probably in talks with Billy Corgan. So yung consolation ng NWA is they go to the streaming service. And it's free. Apparently it's free. CW Seed is free. So I guess that's good for them as well. At least may free platforms sila na pwedeng panoorin ng mga tao. Which I don't know if it's the same as being on TV. I don't actually know if being on CW Seed means you are somehow also going to air on TV. Because if it's going to stream for free, then it's really no different from being on YouTube. And YouTube is the more popular streaming site, diba? So, sana for them, for their sake, this deal also means that they'll be ending up on TV sets.
Ibig sabihin lang nito, kasama na sa DCEU yung NXT.
Arrowverse.
Arrowverse. Yes. We're gonna see fucking Grant Gustin back. And he's gonna interrupt with the NXT title match. It's gonna happen, guys. It's gonna happen.
No, it's gonna change the timeline. Then iba na yung nag-wrestling sa NXT.
Yeah.
Bubuhayin nila yung Captain Cold ni Wentworth Miller. Papakita siya.
No, but I was actually thinking maybe this is what the deal really is initially. Nah, it wasn't really like you're gonna be on the CW television. Like we're just offering you the streaming site. Yung naisip ko yun yung talagang usapan na nangyari. Like, people just twisted it and made it seem like they actually having negotiations to air on the CW network. Kasi CW network is kind of a big network.
No, it's not. It's not that big.
Really?
It's not? It's basic cable. So,
affiliated siya with the CBS network. So, that's the big network talaga.
I mean, kalaban niya yung mga USA, yung mga...
so, parang ano siya, parang Studio 23 ng...
Yeah, you can say that.
Exactly.
Jack TV, gana.
Yeah. But still, like, could have been something there, pero... this free yung app, no? Pero I've tried this before kasi I'm trying to watch the Arrowverse
pero hindi
shows.
Available.
The available here. So if you're from here and you're gonna want to watch NWA, it's still gonna be hard. to try to watch it on the legally. So maybe more power to NWA. I mean, they landed the streaming deal after all, and maybe who knows, in a few years or pag wala ng mga drug use pay-per-views, maybe they can land an actual TV deal.
Ganito yan, Emil. Alam mo ba't di mo siya ma-access legally? Kasi hindi ka target market kasi weirdo ka.
Right. I love the weirdo line right.
All right, on that note, we're going to be ending the Wrestling Podcast post-show here. If you have any thoughts or comments, or if you want to say hi to your fellow weirdos that The Miz represents, then go ahead and hit us up at Wrestling2XPod on Twitter and on TikTok. Later, weirdos.
Peace.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company,